Okay, I see we are live. Let's see if some people from the Discord wanna hop in. Give them a minute, and then now we're gonna start with analyzing some things. First the Nasdaq, then some stocks, crypto of course. Yo, Trader Cage, always the first presented. It's a loyal one. Good to have you here, man. If you already have a chart request for me, please put it in the chat. If anybody else in the stream right now has a chart request or a question about something, also feel free to put it in the chat. And then I'm just gonna start with taking a quick look at the Nasdaq. Unfortunately, I missed the trade when I was busy with uploading videos. Part of the game, but it was a really clean one. Why? Well, we all know this stopping formation by now. Nice 3 taps on our range highs. And another confluence was the London high we took out. On the Nasdaq we got one more leg up, internal manipulation, and on the S&P 500 we didn't have that leg up, and thereby making an SMT, giving us an indication that we can start looking the other side if we're gonna lose our bullish levels. Well, we had a really great 1 minute for value gap here. When we inverse it, we get a test back, and from there start trading lower. This was your first target. From there price could, whoops, hello. This was your first target. From there price could go higher again. Well, we needed a bit more than that and started trading towards all these lows. This was the Asia low. Yeah, we stopped at the Asia low right now. Also a 4-hour imbalance to fill up there. Some 1-hour imbalances. It's all filled up by now, and it looks like London has completed the goal, and New York now wants to push price up, but for that we'll have to trade over this high. We'll see. Trader Cage coming in with PIT and XPL. Okay, I don't think I have PIT drawing, but we're gonna have a look. First XPL. XPL came from a big explosion towards the upside, making a distribution. Technical target was the range low, but from there we started trading even lower towards our old all-time high and some left open demand. Right now it is possible that we are forming a accumulation in this demand. Locally traded above the high, so you would have to draw in your range like this. If market makers have filled up in here, you want to see this low get respected. What can this mean? Another accumulation at the bottom right here. If we're gonna manage to gain this high, we don't have gained it yet. We need bodies open and closes above it. That can indicate that our local trend that we have right now has switched from bearish to bullish, and we can expect higher highs and higher lows. So if we're gonna gain this and maybe get a test into this demand, that can be a nice start of a rally towards all this built up liquidity on the highs. But no confirmations yet. Patience is key on XPL here. But can be interesting. And otherwise it's still a possibility that if this isn't our third tap of our bigger range, we're gonna deviate the range low once more and see what happens from there. Pit. Okay, there are some drawings. Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. A bit of inspiration by the man Trader Gates himself. He shared this chart in the Discord. So of course I'm gonna look at what he put in, and if I think it is right, then I'm also gonna put it in myself, of course. Came from a accumulation at the bottom, just front running a big demand, but that doesn't mean anything. If we are really strong, we don't have to use these demand zones and could just accumulate at the bottom and push price up. Right now we are in a supply zone after taking out your range high slash technical target, and from there we have been trading lower, indicating that it is a possibility we need liquidity from the lows. I know Cage put in his range like this, but I also put it in like that because we were trading lower from here. Took out some liquidity, tapped it to a demand. It isn't the cleanest. This will be a tap and this can be a tap. As I said, isn't the cleanest. We also had some deviations right there, not really a break up, so this can be our third tap. Broke some internal structure towards the upside here. On the higher time frame, it's gonna be this high. There's also a bit of supply above there. Well, if Bit wants to go higher from this change of character towards the upside and this low, then we want to see some upside from this level. And if not, we can just reject from here this liquidity grab because it isn't a break of structure yet. It is just a liquidity grab into some supply, can still go lower. There's nothing confirmed yet, we can go higher. What is our next level to look at? Right here. From there we'll see again. Mino, not a big fan of stock, but was looking to invest for the long run in NIO and GSK. What's your thought looking at the chart? Okay, we're gonna have a look at that as well, Mino. Thank you for being here. Rage, what's up? Back at it again, I see. Aster and Hype, thoughts, okay? We're gonna go over the stocks Mino sent in and then we're gonna take a look at Aster and Hype. But finishing Pith, no confirmations yet. We'll have to get them at this support zone right here or a breaker from this level. Otherwise we can still go lower. NIO. Never heard of the stock. No idea what it is. Which of the three do you mean? The one on the LSE? Top one. This one. Yeah. Okay. We're gonna have a look at it. Monthly. Last resort. Demand we made before this really blew up. I don't know what for business this is, but we are coming down a long way, and right now we are pretty much in our last hold. If we want to keep being bullish, we don't want to close below our all-time lows here. Okay. On the monthly, this is your high to break. from this local trend. But I saw on the weekly that we have this pullback that brought us towards our low. Right now we broke above it. So we're already getting some bullish confluences here. Nah, not really a range, but still, this is really nice. Why? From here, we left open a low. I'm not the only one that sees that we are really at a really low price level in a big demand. Also a bit more refined one right here. We leave open our low, from there we start trading above our high. What happens? A lot of retail is gonna start FOMO buying right here when we break above the high, because they think, whoa, 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 wait a minute, maybe we're gonna blow up and go to $10, $20, whatever. So they're gonna ape into this stock. But what happens? First supply that there is, rejection from the supply, taking out all the people that started buying in this move. A lot of liquidity collected there, and that's a way where market makers can fill up their positions. From there we put in a higher low, break above our last high that brought us towards new lows, and started trading higher. So that is a pretty good confluence that this stock can see some upside. We use this demand, I see, to trade higher. Barely though, but we used it. Can still be a point of interest. But for now, let's get rid of it, because I want to put in this one. Why? Last pullback, where sellers tried to push price down before we broke structure towards the upside. So definitely a zone to have in your chart. Let's zoom in a bit. I think we already used this as well. Yes, but still, can refine it a bit. A zone to look for local confirmations. We can trade higher because we just took out this high. That can cause us for a bit of rejection towards the downside, combination with this untested supply. So these will definitely be two zones you can look for some local confirmations. We can trade higher. Yeah, I don't want to make it any more difficult than that. Right now I would wait, because we are in a supply. We took out some liquidity, so you don't know what's gonna happen next, but these two are definitely zones to watch. Electric cars, okay, yeah, that can be interesting in the long run as well, right? So yeah, Chinese electric car company. Well, they can be doing pretty good. Probably also some good news coming out about this company then with a pump like this. But not looking all too bad. Definitely not. GSK was the other request. Gonna pick the LSE chart. Oh wow. This is almost an S&P 500 chart with the upside like this. Biggest pennant of your life. Wow. This is a major squeeze up. Can also be really bullish. We never have to take out these lows. We're just leaving them open since 2014. Over 10 years of lows being built up and higher highs being made. Okay. Instantly want to zoom in, because we know our trend is up. It's a bit cold in here. Let's see if I can turn up the heat. Give me a second. There we go. Now we can continue. Bro's freezing and trading, yeah. You have to compromise at some points to be behind the charts. Right now we're chilling though. We got some rejection. Let's see. Broke weekly structure towards the downside, right here. Maybe even monthly. No, monthly structure still intact. Broke weekly structure towards the downside. This is our last high that brought us towards a new low, meaning that if we're gonna manage to break this high, this trend has switched from bearish to bullish again, and we can look for higher highs and higher lows. Right now it looks like we're gonna break above this high. Would still have to wait 2 days, of course, but then we can expect some more upside again. Knowing that, let's look at a place where we can find that upside. Let's indicate it by a dotted line. This bigger demand, you can also refine it a bit like this. Pretty good point to pick it up. Bit of liquidity built up below it though. What can it mean? Can still take out that liquidity and go a bit lower. This is the low to hold. If we're gonna manage to break this high, by the way, this is gonna become our low to hold. So you don't want to see any body open and closes below this. It made equals though, so if you want to quickly sweep it, that's fine. Do we have to? Of course not. We have a pretty strong demand being created right above it. And then if we're gonna need a bit more liquidity before we're gonna manage to take out this high, because we are rejecting from some supply right now before taking out that high. Let's try this whole structure pool. If we're gonna need a bit of liquidity from the lows, we still have this structure demand which we can tap into. So after this game, definitely 2 zones to locally watch for upside. Well, because then we're gonna get to price discovery again. What can be some targets? So hard to say on a thing like this. Can look at some price discovery targets, of course. Around the $1,800 mark, $1,900 definitely a profit point. 1937 and then the 2K mark. Then I would take out a lot of my position in profits right there. Do what you want to do yourself, of course, but that is just my non-financial advice. What are those gaps between candles? Well, it's the stock market, and the stock market isn't open 24/7 like crypto is. So you're gonna get end dogs. So if a day closes, like right here, you can see Thursday the market closes here, and on Friday the market opens lower. That are the gaps. You can also use them as resistance, like right here. You can see we use that gap in the chart. Oops, that gap in the chart as resistance to trade lower. So that is a GSK for you. I see Rage had a chart request as well. Where is it? Esther and Hype. I made a video about Hype yesterday. Let's see what has happened from there. Took out the liquidity. Flipped this supply. If we were really strong, we're gonna trade higher from this supply. We don't. We rejected from another supply we had right here, as you can see. indicating we're gonna need a bit of liquidity from the lows. Well, we have 2 equals right here, which we can, oh, they already have been taken out, I see. Okay, still not enough probably. Once again rejecting from some supply, so it looks like hype needs a bit more liquidity from the lows. First POI right here, as I said in the video as well, liquidity here if you want to go lower, liquidity right here, right there if you want to go lower. Because on our higher time frame trend, we still expect some upside. We already broke some structure, 4 hour towards the upside again after breaking it to the downside right here, indicating where we can expect higher lows and higher highs. Right now it looks like hype wants to put in a new higher low and then a higher high. 3 POI zones, and this is a major resistance point that is still untested, so you will have to watch out what happens from there. Apart from that, pretty simple. Building up a lot of liquidity, so if we're gonna get a nice accumulation in some one of those demand zones, great targets. Hype and Aster. Where is it? Right here. I know it's just the momentum is crazy. We are still on the DL limit, deviation limit of this whole range. So this can still be a deviation. That's in combination, it isn't the cleanest power of 3 because there wasn't any manipulation at the lows. But if you look at the basics of a power of 3, you have a range phase right there. Manipulation phase below the range in this case. As I said, we didn't have any manipulation, so it isn't the cleanest. But in combination with these lows we already had, and this maybe being our third tap into some demand, can still result in a power of 3 move. Then our expected target is the range high. But right now we're just grinding up. As you can see, this liquidity drill is phenomenal. And right now we took out pretty much all our liquidity before we're gonna reach our previous distribution highs. Also one of the first major liquidity highs, apart from all this shitty trend liquidity we had towards the downside. So if Aster is gonna reject from here, which definitely can be the case, where's the support? Yeah, there's nothing. It's just all liquidity. Yeah, I would rather not touch this chart. Just wait. Can also form a distribution right here if you want to. Yeah, I would wait on Aster. We can definitely form a distribution right here, which can be the beginning of a dump towards all this liquidity. This was a good demand zone, but we already used it. Use this one already, use this one already, use this one already. You're just demand chaining towards the upside, which is a pretty bullish thing, of course, but yeah. No, I would wait on Aster. Close to a major liquidity high, and just this way of trading up, ugly. I see that Mino wants me to look at ETHFI. I think it's a crypto coin. Oh. Isn't it? It definitely is. I don't know it. Moke Health, welcome to the stream, brother. I think I've never seen you here, so good to have you here. Avantis, I'm gonna take a look on Avantis after this one. Okay, after the listing of this coin, big pump up. From there, the classic dump down. It has been here for a while. On the monthly, we had the pullback right here. So if we're gonna break this, then you can trade higher. Classic fake break. Why? You don't have any candle open and close above this high, and from there you start trading lower. So building up a lot of liquidity on the way up, getting in a lot of retail people. Liquidity hunter, from there we started trading lower. Yeah, and on the monthly, not really a clean pullback. Last pullback we had is right here. Of course, you had this drop off towards the lows here, and a bit of a consolidation right there. Oh, this is the monthly, this is the 3-day. Oops, well, you get the point. Analysis stays the same. Oh, you're in the Discord as well. Beautiful, man. Beautiful. So yeah, you're still down on this coin. It can be that we broke some daily structure. No, just making higher highs and higher lows here. Yeah, this is a valid structure pool. Okay, so on the daily you gained something right here. The price action on this coin overall is really ugly. I would never look at the coin like this, but of course we're gonna do so now. This can be a range. I'll put this in as a deviation. Yeah, we got the reaction towards back in the range again, so that definitely is a deviation. Right now we are pumping though. So let's look for some resistance where we can reject from, possibly. Nothing in here. Really no resistance, only some liquidity. We took out this liquidity. Okay, we already took out a bit of liquidity. This is a supply. I'm gonna look at the chat in a bit after I am done with this analysis. Yeah, this pump, I don't know where it comes from, but it isn't natural. From there we have been trading higher a bit, creating a range. Right now getting some rejection from a liquidity grab. Yeah, this is a lot of support from old highs, old liquidity highs where you can trade higher from. Definitely if we're gonna lose this, we could trade a lot lower. Also locally can also see some weakness on this coin. Rejecting our local supply. Yeah, this can definitely become our third tap where you have to watch out for. I would not touch this. Ugly price action overall, crazy pumps and dumps, weird wicks, etc, etc. Price action to the left, ugly. Yeah, this can be become a major distribution and a dump down. Yeah. Okay, Mino, when you draw green zones PY, for me you're expecting the price to drop. Isn't it better to start shorting then? Then when you reach POI, you reverse and go long again. No financial advice. In some cases that is definitely possible. Let's see where we have some POI zones. Like on Pepe right now, I see we already tapped into here. If we're gonna get a short trigger, of course you can look at it. You can see. Oh my. This is a big hit and run. Well, if you're gonna close below this low on Pepe, there definitely are reasons that we can go lower. Why? Higher time frame, we have this massive accumulation going, so we expect higher, but we still have a really clean, untested demand at the lows, which we can trade towards to look for a long continuation play. But locally, we are against some resistance. From there, start trading lower, indicating that it is possible we're gonna need more liquidity from the lows. Well, then I draw in my local supplies on which we can reject from. If you're in the Discord, you will have seen this one. Then if we're gonna get this break, I want to zoom in a bit more, because I'm not just gonna enter a short on this break. That is not enough for me. No, if we're gonna make this break, create some sort of supply or a breaker block which we can use to trade lower, I can put in an entry and then trade towards first liquidity target, more liquidity targets, and then I would close a lot of my position in the demand zone, because from there I would like to look for longs, so I don't want to short anymore. But in some cases it is definitely possible. You only need short confirmations. I hope that answered your question. But sometimes it is also not really interesting to take the short, because you don't have confluences, or there's not enough to target at the lows towards the demand zone, because I want partial profits at liquidity points in my trades. So that is that. Okay, let's go over a Fantis right now for Mook Health. Rage, ETH and Bitcoin. I'm gonna look at that after a Fantis for you. Mook Health. I went in on a Fantis at around $1.80, so I'm down quite ugly right now. Is it worth to just hold for now? I'm holding spot bags. 180. Ooh, that is also. Oh yeah, you bought this. Yeah. Yeah, you just bought when we were in this distribution towards the downside. This was the technical target of that distribution, but there was not any support for that at that range low apart from this block, but we already used it to go higher, so that wasn't interesting. If you have watched a couple of more videos from mine, you know I pointed out this demand. From this demand we got some nice low longs, of course. Broke some structure towards the upside right here. But after tapping into this supply and taking out liquidity, we just started trading lower and breaking structure again, indicating we're gonna trade even lower again. Yeah, you're in the minus a bit. Then in the videos after that, I pointed out a lot of times, okay, yes, we're dumping down hard, but if we look at the 12-hour structure, that is completely fine, because we can still expect a higher low and a higher high. Of course, we're gonna need a lot of buying power to push up towards all-time highs again. How can we do that? Well, we have formed a range here right now, a high time frame range. If we're gonna make a big accumulation right here, with never closing below this low on the high time frame, we can expect a pretty nice long. We're building up a lot of liquidity on the highs to target, so then you can long to at least this point, and from there we can go lower again. But if that is the start signal of a bigger pump towards new all-time highs, sure, but I don't want to moon like that, because there's still a major supply left open here. A lot of resistance from all the liquidity we're building up here, so the $1.80 mark is far away. I think it's a bit tricky right now, but in the long term it can be possible. I don't want to get ahead of myself though. In this eternal trend down, we broke structure towards the upside, indicating that we can maybe look for longs towards this liquidity we have been building up on local confirmations, of course. Well, I pointed out this is the demand zone. If we're gonna go higher from there, then that is of course possible, but it doesn't look all too strong right now. Yeah, I think this is if you want to hold this internal trend, we don't want to close below this low. If we're gonna do that, then we can trade towards this low, and then yeah, this change of character is probably gonna get invalidated if we're gonna break below this low, and then we'll have to wait on a reaction on this higher time frame range, what happens from there. But right now, yeah, we can expect upside. Locally, is it looking all too nice that we are not getting some strength from our PY zone? And after sweeping the highs, a reaction down. So yeah, the $1.80 mark is not a sweet spot to be in right now. Where to hold, just yeah, I don't know how big your position is, of course. Where to hold, I mean, you're already down a lot. If you don't want to get down even more, yeah, I don't want to advise you on this. It's just already down bad, ugly. There are some signs we can go higher. There are some signs we can go lower. Yeah, it isn't the cleanest right now. Pretty indecisive. So yeah, I would put that up to yourself. Thanks. Not a problem, man. ETH and Bitcoin thoughts. Rage, I know you are in the Discord. They're already shared in the Discord, but I can go over them in the stream for you. ETH tapped into a really nice PY zone. From there we have been trading higher. Broke structure towards the upside right here. So we are expecting higher lows and higher highs. This is our low to hold right now. So this is the best demand to look for continuation longs towards this liquidity and maybe even the all-time high, because we are testing away a strong supply we still had left open. We took out some liquidity from the high, and we're getting a little bit of a rejection right now from this zone. Also already, no, not yet. It is 1 hour, yeah, 45-minute structure, I would say. Of course, on the 1 hour it is also a valid higher low and higher high, but on the 45-minute they are valid candles. Then we already have a body open and close below our low, indicating that we probably can go a bit lower on Ethereum right now. But for that we want to see price trade below this low and go lower from there. Would I look for shorts right now? No, not really any interesting things to put in a order or whatever. These zones are a bit annoying. Let's get them out of the way. Pretty nice manipulation right here. Of course, you're gonna get in a lot of FOMO sellers right here. Well, they already panic when price gets up right there. Then we start trading below a low again, right here, below a low again, getting in a lot of sellers. So nice local manipulation right here, indicating that we can be getting ready for a down move. But not any tradable things to see right there. So if we're gonna move down from here and are not gonna hold strong at this local demand, we can definitely take out all this liquidity right here into this demand zone and trade higher from there. And if that isn't enough, there's also a bit of liquidity built up here. Because this is a low to hold, it has to be a quick sweep and then a pump up though. So don't want to spend too much time into that demand. So yeah, locally we can move up from here. Otherwise, if we're gonna lose this, this is our demand to watch. Bitcoin. Was rejecting from a nice support and resistance level. Also close to a bit of supply. You can see it on the 1 hour. I said in the Discord, if we're gonna go lower from here, this is a demand to watch. A lot of liquidity built up above that demand. Also at a old high, which calls for distribution all the way towards the downside. So a pretty strong place to look for a continuation long on Bitcoin, because this momentum is crazy. So definitely gonna watch for some long positions right there. Internal trend still intact on the 50-minute last low their budget towards a new high. We just swept it. A liquidity hunt is not a break of structure, a wick as we like to call it. So this is just a liquidity hunt, building up a lot of liquidity on the highs. So if you want to go higher, maybe take out this high once more and trade into this supply. Then this can become a nice range. Yeah, definitely. And maybe we can get a distribution in this range. Can be a scenario. So looking for longs. Oh, let me get rid of this line. Looking for longs in this demand zone, and maybe some local shorts if we're gonna get the distribution here. But if you want to be updated on that, of course join the Discord. I don't know if Cage is still here, then he will drop the Discord link in the chat. Otherwise we'll do it myself. I don't think he is here, so let's grab the link ourselves. There we go. The message. There we go. Let's see. Mino. Mookelf, you asked me. What did I ask you, Mookelf? Mino asked for AIN. AIN. Looks like another crypto coin. Sharing it. Oh, no, I was talking about Trader Cage, the other owner of the server. Oh my. Okay. Interesting. Could be a big accumulation. Was a lot of liquidity being built up to target. Okay. Let's see what happened at this low. Really ugly wick, but okay. from some supply. Getting in a lot of FOMO buyers right here. Beautiful to see. Reject from something. Wreck all the people that started longing here already. Big liquidation wick. From there started exploding. Yeah, this was just structured to break on the 4 hour. You broke it. From there we've just been trading higher. I already see not the coin I will ever touch. Why? Even on the Binance chart we have ugly wicks like this. Yeah, that isn't cleanest. Right now price action looks a bit dead as well. Equals definitely can mean we need more liquidity from the lows. Yeah, this is no. Equals everywhere. Oh no, there's a liquidity hunt. Front trend is demand. I don't even know what to look at. There's just so much shit on my screen. I have no idea, man. Oh. I don't even think I'm gonna finish this analysis. This is ugly. Mino, yeah. No problem, mate. If you want to know something about it, well, I could tell you, do not touch this. This is not workable price action. Not clean demands, not clean liquidity points. Like if you look at the Pepe, you can read this, right? Supply, you can reject from it. Liquidity, we can take out. Nice demand to move from. But I understand your request. It can look interesting when it's blowing up like that, but don't touch it. Please don't. How about Ada and Ando? Mr. Chartsmith even. Mr. Alright. Ando, I don't think I've charted this, so that's a good request. Could have become a really great accumulation on Ando at this bottom. And I see I've pointed out this demand right here. Probably a bit lower time frame. Let's see. Yep. You can see it right here. If we were gonna manage to tap into this demand or take out extreme supply, we had a confirmation that market makers were accumulating. Of course, can still be major market maker involvement. Why? We took out a major low, built up a lot of trend liquidity. So if they want to fill up positions, this was the place to do it. After that, deviated the high once more. Yeah, right now, let's get rid of this. We are just in a big range for a long time already. Let's see, since July we are in this range. Never took out range high, never took out range low. Don't think those are equals. No, big liquidity, big volume spike, no equals. Okay. Supply. Why? This is a strong supply. We took out major liquidity. From there started trading lower. And this was the last pullback that brought you towards the low. So if you want to trade lower again, this is a supply to reject from. Apart from that, we're more bearish than bullish right now. Locally getting a bit more bullish. So if we want to keep on being bullish, this is our demand to hold. If we're gonna lose this demand and don't get any local confirmations we can trade higher from here, then we're at least gonna go towards this level right here. If we're gonna lose this, this is still a place to trade towards. So if we want to keep on building this local upside, this is a demand to watch. Then you have to watch out from this supply again, because then we can go lower. Or this demand could be a start of a move towards the range high, get the first deviation, and maybe start distributing from there. I would love a scenario where we are gonna come up, creating a lot of liquidity on the lows, deviate the high ones, come back lower, break some structure, create supply, tap into that supply, indicating that on a high time frame you have 3 taps. Locally we're gonna get the 3 taps and from there really rip down an undo. Unicorn setup, but who knows, who knows. Yeah, 2 scenarios. This would be a zone to look for longs. And then you will have to watch out at the supply again. And apart from that, just in a huge range. Ada, Cardano. Oh, no drawings here, I see, okay. Big equals. If we are ever gonna take out those equals, this is your demand to watch. But of course we don't have to. Great support right here from this high that we broke towards the upside. So right there we got bullish again when we broke it. I have talked about it multiple times. If we are really bullish, your old high is a really aggressive way to continue your trend. That is what we did. And right now this is our low to hold on ADA. So we want to look for a high low in between this low and this high. Knowing that, what can be a place where you can already see this demand right here, which can be a PY zone to continue our uptrend. Big supply though. Let's see if you already got some breaks of structure towards the upside from this demand. Absolutely. 4-hour trend already bullish. This doesn't look too ugly, I must say. We are in a major supply, also a bit of a refined zone right here. Really logical that we are gonna reject at some point to go lower, take out some liquidity. We have been building up quite a bit right here. Peppa 2.0, as you can see. Oh my. So liquidity being built up right here. Oh. We expect to go higher, so what is a zone to do that? Beautiful demand right here. Why? Last structure pool where sellers try to push price down towards all this liquidity or continue your downtrend we still had. Well, they fail, the bulls take over, and from there we broke structure towards the upside. So a really nice demand to look for longs. You can also draw in this whole zone, but we're not gonna do that. Leave the refined zone in there. So definitely a place to look for longs on ADA. Nice one. Let's put it in the patience is key folder. But of course we don't have to do that. If we want to continue our local trend right now, we have to leave open this low and trade higher somewhere before we are gonna get towards that low. Want to draw this in as a range, but not gonna do that. Nice breaker block we're holding support on right now. So yeah, if we want to get local upside on Cardano to trade towards all the built-up liquidity, which is juicy, looking juicy. It may be a small accumulation going right here in the breaker block. then your trade is already gone, I see. High to break towards the upside. I wouldn't, yeah, I don't think I would take this, but high to break towards the upside locally. Already tested this back. Right here. But for this to be interesting, you would have to target all these liquidity highs, not something you can take. Yeah. If you really want to get towards all this liquidity right here, you have to break above this level. Why? Last pullback that brought you lower. So if we're gonna break above here, you can maybe look for some support at those old highs and target this liquidity, because then we're just gonna hold this trend that we have right now, where we can put in a higher low and a new higher high, and then we're never gonna come back towards this demand zone. And if we're not gonna go higher from here and reject, then this is your zone to watch, because we definitely can reject from here. So that is ADA. Thanks very much, man, for your analysis. I'm going to cook some dinner for the missus. Alright, cook her something nice, man. Then I will see you in the next stream, video, Discord, whatever. Great to have you here. If someone else has a chart request in the stream right now, feel free to drop them in. I will. See you, man. See you later. Me know. Thanks, guys. Well, if someone still has a chart request, feel free to drop them in the chat, or a different question about technical analysis, price action, whatever. I'm here to answer those. If not, we have been live for an hour, so then we're gonna end this stream and continue with the other work we have to do. Okay then. Alright, no more requests it seems like, no more questions. Last 10 seconds to do so. Otherwise, I'm gonna thank you all for being here. Make sure to join the Discord for daily value, chart updates, crypto, Nasdaq, whatever. Talking about Nasdaq before I'm gonna end, I want to take a look what happened. Nice topping formation, losing your structure and went lower from there. Ooh, also inverse your 4 hour and creating a new one. Oh no, I have to wait 4 hours for that. Can mean that we can reject from there and go lower. Also already filled up all our 1 hour imbalances, pretty bearish. Yeah, then right now we are in a local zone to reject. A lot of old liquidity lows right there. Okay. Well, this will be the stream, and I will see you all in the next one. Ciao, ciao.